I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Lawndale City Council, special meeting of the Lawndale City Council. I'm going to ask the city clerk to give the roll call, please.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Hoffman Gorman. Here. Councilmember Cuevas. Councilmember Suarez.
Here.
Councilmember Kearney.
Here.
Mayor Poland Miles.
Here.
All members are present except for Councilmember Cuevas.
Okay. Make note of that. Okay. Councilwoman Suarez will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand. Face the flag. Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Amen. I do the holy part.
Thank you. At this point, we're now on oral communications. We note that there's no one in the audience to participate in oral communications. Therefore, we will dismiss with comments from the council. Next item is, under administration, is a budget workshop for fiscal year 2020-2023, complete with recommendations. Let's have the presentation. Welcome our new finance director.
Good. Hi, thank you. Just want to say thank you, council members. This budget was put together within a month, start to finish. So I want to first thank council and staff for helping us get through this. It was very challenging, but we got through it. And I think we got a really good budget. So to start off, just real high level, general fund. We're looking at, revenues about 18.3 million, expenses 18 million. We have a budget surplus of a little over 300,000. So we're in good shape there. And we have, as far as our 22-23 estimated general fund, we're estimated to start the year about 26.5 million. And we should end up about 26.8 million in the general fund. So again, just showing that $300,000 surplus.
How much did you say? I'm sorry, did you say? What was the surplus again?
About 300,000.
300,000. I was missing it. Okay.
And also, one more thing to note, we have general fund here. General fund is actually comprised of about, it's not only the 100 fund, it's also the 280, the 277, 270, 279, which is community service and community development. When the auditors do their audit, they combine all those into general fund. So the numbers I just gave you is all of those combined. So next I want to go into, I guess, kind of look at it by department level, which is page 2 of the staff report. I had a chart there comparing last year's budget with this year's proposed budget and then the changes. And below we had the significant changes. So we'll kind of go through them, I guess, one by one and kind of highlight the key changes there. City Council, Department 110, not much of a change, increase of about $8,700. City Attorney stays the same, no changes there. The next one.
Hold on real quick, let me make sure I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
a little slower than most mayors. On, you said on 2, I see 1, you said of the report. Is the report the same as the tabs?
It's the page 2 of the staff report.
Of the staff report, okay, that's what I'm missing then.
Which is just a summary of everything that's in the book.
Okay, let me make sure I'm seeing it.
And we're not on that item, that's at 6:30, but he's using that as the highlight, the 30,000
Oh,
foot
okay,
level.
yeah, sorry about that.
I have it.
Well, I mean, that's fine, I just want to make sure I get there.
Yeah, no, I'm in the.
Now, where's it?
Under my
Do you see it?
parts. I'm under my parts, and his numbers are on this, on your tab.
So, like,
Yeah, you
this
can go
is
through the
1.
tabs as well. I'm going to cover the same numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so this page is marked 1, so if you go to city clerk,
So if you go to city, yeah, so
okay. City clerk, page 13.
city clerk, page 13 on the book.
Okay.
Council, city clerk.
Yeah, just
Okay.
announce the title as you go.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it'd be a
All
lot
right.
easier.
Okay,
Because
Okay.
Robert's kind of slow.
okay, there we go.
Okay, so city clerk, increase of about 82,000. And that's basically for the estimated LA County cost for the election coming up this year. So that's what the increase is there. Next one is city manager.
There's a decrease in there, huh?
Decrease of about 105,000, and that's, the main thing is there was a payout for the previous city manager last year, so that's hopefully not gonna happen again. I think we got a good city manager. We'll keep him. So that's
Okay.
the main decrease is because of that payout that happened last year. And then,
Question?
yeah,
Under the city manager on the second page of that,
yep.
if you guys noticed down that, I think we took out, did we take out the contracts? The community,
We did take out there was a PI,
the contract service is $45,000?
yes, we took that out.
Yes, that's out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got
It was
two
like
notes.
basically a public relations,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we took that one out.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Moving to admin services, we're looking at about a decrease of 27,000, which was, again, it related to the search for the city manager. We didn't end up using a executive search firm, so we saved some money there. That's what our decrease is for. And then general operations, kind of the biggest section. Yeah. Oh, you want, oh, okay.
No, I was just,
I have mine in, okay, cable
Cable,
TV, we
yeah.
can do cable TV. So cable TV does have an increase of 165,000. This is mainly for the equipment estimate that we got, basically for council chambers, to update the equipment in here, 125,000. Upon looking into this more, we can use actually ARPA funds to fund this, so it's not gonna be general fund money. It'll actually come from the ARPA funds that we've received. That-
Question?
Yes.
Maybe Sean can answer. Are we in the process, or are we going to be in the process of selling our cable van?
Yes, Mayor, Council, I'm working with Ray Ladd, and once Harat's been here just a short 2 months, we're gonna get a valued estimate, and then we're gonna put it out for sale.
Okay.
I did offer to put it on OfferUp, but Ray Ladd said no, so I think but, we have to put it out there, and the equipment, we have to write down some of the equipment costs, because as I was talking to Beckham today and other staff, the stuff's changing constantly in the equipment and being updated, so some of the equipment, even in the van's outdated. So we won't fetch the highest price, we think, for the equipment. So we're just gonna try to get an estimate. Harat's gonna put that together, and we'll put it out there for sale.
Okay, thank you.
Very good, thank you.
So cable TV, so we have the equipment, and then the other part is, I think we're planning to hire a full-time position there. Right now, I believe it's just a part-timer, so that's the increase on the payroll side of it, about 50,000. Moving to general operations, so this is one of the biggest departments. This has all your, the PERS, retirement, health benefits, comes out of this. There is a decrease. Mainly, the decrease is coming from, I think some insurances have come down, which is surprising, but I think we've got pretty good history with our insurances, so I think we've got a little decrease there. And PERS did go up, but the others did come down, so overall it's a decrease for that division. Also in there, my plan is to, for this year, pay the PERS annual cost all up front, if the council is okay with that, to do a lump sum payment. It'll come out to $705,000. Currently, we pay on a monthly basis. For this upcoming 22-23 year, if we do the monthly basis, the total will be about $730,000. So we do save about $25,000, which is, they give you a 3.5% discount if you pay upfront lump sum. That lump sum would be due July 31st. So if council is okay with that, I've kind of worked that into the budget, taking that. So we save a little 25,000 there.
Mm-hmm.
That's general operations. So finance? Finance, there's a little savings, 21,000. Nothing major changing here. I think the biggest one, there's a 15,000 for temporary staffing. We're not using any temporary staffing this year. My plan is hopefully I do get an accounting manager fairly soon, so, and that's already budgeted for, so there's no big changes there. What do we have next? Information systems. small change here, just down by about 10,000. It's coming from some equipment that was over, I think it's over budgeted last year. There was a budget of about 30. Last year, we've only spent about 16, so I could just reduce that number down. And then we have public safety. Public safety did go up. This is your sheriff's services. Overall, their contract increase, I believe their sheriff costs went up like 1.5%, so that's where the 68,000 is coming in for the general fund. And then we have municipal services. No big change here. It's only an increase of about 10,000. There's some increase in salary, but then that was offset for decreases to ARPA spending that was done and equipment that's not being purchased. So we're pretty good there. Next, we have Public Works. Public Works is the biggest department for the city. They're actually split into four. We have Public Works Admin, which is on page 36 of the book. So the general fund, this decreased 296,000. The big reason for that decrease is there was street improvements 2020-21, which has been completed. So that one was about 200 and something thousand was the decrease there. Also, you'll notice there's some decrease in salaries, about 52,000 in the general fund. Some of that is due to being able to allocate more to the other funds, the grant-related funds, such as gas tax, Prop A, Prop C. So they did go through and reallocate some of their salaries to better, take it out of the general fund and move it into the other funds. So that's Public Works Admin. And then on the next one is Public Works Grounds and Maintenance, which starts on page 51. We have an increase of 291,000, and this is due to, the big thing is the landscape maintenance contract that pretty much doubled. This is for your, all the landscape and the tree service as well. I think the grounds and facilities handles more of the landscape side of it. The contract did almost double this, I think a little more than double this year. I think it's just the sign of what's going on with the economy and everything. So that's your main increase there. The next one is Public Works Street, which is on page 56. There's a slight decrease, 67,000. Again, that's due to being able to reallocate salaries to the other funds, basically your gas tax or Prop A or Prop C, to take it out of the general fund. And then the last division they have is Public Works Engineering on page 63. What do we have there? We have a slight decrease, about 29,000. They had a local road safety plan study that was done last year, so that did not happen. Again, this year, that's a 25,000 decrease in the budget. And a little bit of salary allocations as well happening there. So that's Public Works. Next one, we have Community Development. Any questions? Yeah.
Sean, do you want to tell them, the rest of the council, what we let them purchase from the wish list? There should be, it's built in here, right?
Yeah, Mayor, Council, so when we go through, Harat's going to go through that list of.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
all the items that are covered under ARPA, that we, a list of items that we wish into, we work with the subcommittee, and there were items that were nixed, but there are also items that we found funding for, no direct impacts to the general fund.
Yeah, I'll cover those once I get through I'll go back and cover
Okay.
that.
Right on.
So we're at Community Development. Decrease 95,000 here. Yeah, so the big decrease is there was a general plan update. I think they updated the budget number. This started in 21-22. So it's almost done, and then they've updated our numbers for what's left for the remaining, for that we're gonna end up paying in 22-23. And then community services. Community service has two. One is their community service admin, and that has a decrease of 30,000. I did notice a slight typo on page 83. Up top, the very first line, where it says contract services, the change from prior year, that change should not be 140,000, it's only about 5,000 increase. I think there's a formula error in there, so we can get that fixed for when we do the book. But overall, their increase of about 30,000. They have requested a full-time coordinator and 3 part-time that, due to them reopening up this year, so I think they need some staffing for that.
Yeah, Mayor, Council, real quick, the community development fee, that, if you recall, that's all been funded through the sale of the corner property. So that's money that we set aside a couple of years, fiscal cycles back, to offset the cost of the general plan update. Plus, the city also was granted SB2 grant and a LEAP grant, if I'm correct, Jared. I think we have those grants offsetting those costs. So that's set aside money. For community services, as per direction of the council, we're scheduled to open the community center on July 5th. Tomorrow, they are installing the new AC unit that the council approved and the new backup system to get that, the community center back and open. Mike been working every day to get that community center back open. So we need to get some staff back.
HVAC or is it repaired HVAC?
It's the repair, but the council requested also to replace the whole system as
Yes.
well. We have direction for both.
Okay.
All right, and then community service events, on page 91 of the book, there's a increase of about 20,000. There's total of 13 events this year that they were budgeting for. The bigger ones, the music festival, I don't think that happened last year, or at least we don't have a budget for it last year, so that's about a 12,000 budget for that one. And then there's some increases in like the Easter egg hunt and the health fair, or, yeah. Just general costs overall, I think, increased, so there's a 20,000 increase there. Yes.
I don't have a question, but I do want to put it on if we can please ask for sponsorships and make it kind of, for our events at least, to offset some of the costs. I know we spoke previously about the firework companies not paying for sheriff's costs, but maybe we can ask for donations for some of the events, and that would kind of help out with some of the other, keep away from the general fund.
I do have a question. Didn't we decide several months ago, somewhere in the middle of COVID, to not just consider having the jazz festival, but to have other music? Is that in this budget, or is that still beyond?
So we Mayor and Council, we discussed it with the subcommittee. It's called the Music Festival. So, it could be all types of genre. I guess you would call it different types of music will be at the festival.
So it's going to be only one event?
One with 5 different bands,
Right.
different.
Kind of what, I guess
Monitors.
what we would call like they do at Coachella, where they have different types of music in one big area. That's what we're looking at. Not that, okay.
Probably what part?
I thought we had talked about having different genres on different days. That was my question.
Oh, I misunderstood that. Okay. I don't think the subcommittee discussed that.
Do you remember that, Pat?
I did, but we decided to do a music festival. I mean, it's up to you guys.
We
But let's
discussed,
have because we have, I don't know, Ron, you haven't been on long enough, but Robert and Brenda and I have, people ask us, why don't we have any Latino music? Why don't we have any country western? All we have is blues. So we looked out at it and we did a survey and there was country western.
Right. I was on.
And so we decided, well, it's like the two of us came to a conclusion, I should say, we didn't decide anything. That instead of making it a blues festival, we're making a music festival. Because as you all know, you get there and the bands play and there's a groupies there. Once that band leaves, they all leave. The groupies leave. So most of the draw there right now is the car show. Once the band leaves, the groupies leave and the next group comes on. But if you want to get the residents, Hispanic residents out, the, how would I call them? The people from Oklahoma, that, I don't want to say redneck because
It's
that's
country, but not
not the right
Western.
term, but anyway, the Western music out, the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. We have 5 different bands there.
So
But
this
that's
is
a-
one, so this is one event, so the
Instead of what
so the
we talked
blues
about,
festival
several.
would be,
The music festival.
I
But see, I
thought,
thought we was gonna do like two different events, where we
Yeah.
have our cornerstone event, or whatever you call it, not cornerstone, there's another word. Premier event would be the Blues Festival, but then we would have another event that would feature different genres of music. Giving us two different events is what I thought we had settled on.
I mean, Mayor and council, we could look at that, certainly bring something back with direction to, we'd have to look at the budget, Mike's budget, Mr. Estes'
Well,
budget, community
I
services.
thought that also what was discussed previously was looking at the Parks and Rec, their budget and asking them to fund one of the events. I thought we had that discussion, because they had so much funds in there, we thought, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That still would put us to two events, no matter how it's funded.
Yeah.
That was my understanding too, two events. Because you want to have, I mean, I appreciate having the different genres of music or what have you, but you do want to have a signature event, what I was trying to come up with. You do want to have a signature event, because there's pros and cons. When you have a signature event, of course, you build that up over time and people come there. When you have a music event where you have different types of music, people will come and go to see various bands, just like what you said. People come and go, but people there to see the blues, they're there for blues. But if you have different, like on this stage, you're gonna have music at this time, this type of music, that type of music. Sometimes people don't necessarily want to sit the whole concert out listening to various views. Let's say, for instance, if it was disco, you know it's gonna be disco, we're gonna be discoing it up, right? You know, all night. But then you switch it to country, no Western. Country, the folks that came there for disco, they're gonna leave. If they don't appreciate country, they're going to leave. So it's kind of a mixture. That's why having two events, I think.
So can we find out the Park and Rec is still interested in funding that? Because I do believe Bernadette's right. I think they were supposed to fund it.
Well,
You know, if the council directs, we can bring back an item after the budget, and then bring back, search for funding and find out, and talk to the Parks and Rec. I'll meet with CSD, Mike Estes, and then we'll bring back an item for consideration, because it's not in this budget. The second,
And then we have to be, remember that although I appreciate the Parks and Recs, but remember that the funding is there for the city's funding. So at the end of the day, the council has the last word on
Right.
how those fundings are gonna be used, of course, with the Parks and Recs and recommendations or input, of course. Because there was a time where we've had this is a whole different Parks and Recs. We had a Parks and Recs that was a no when the city council was, a yes on whatever it was. And so we had to reiterate to them that, yes, this is the Parks and Recs, quote unquote, event that for where these fundings came through, but the funding is the funding from the city, and the city council has the final word, but hopefully they will be receptive to it, but if not, we have to convince them. You know what I mean?
So, okay, so we can change the word from to the Muse Festival back to the Blues Festival, and see what we're gonna do with the second one.
we can bring back an item after if the council's inclined, when we meet at 6:30, bring back a new item, the next couple of weeks for reconsideration, to do an amendment to the budget, and consideration for a second event.
And I would just put out there, yes, I know that the car show is a really big draw when it comes to the Blues Festival. Maybe on a secondary event, maybe we could do more like an arts festival, or, the women's in crafting or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a car, but let's go for, the knitters, the arts and crafts people, the quilters. Maybe they do
I quilt.
oil
Thank you.
painting
I'll be
or
there.
watercolors or something like that. Let's have maybe think about something other than cars on another event.
And just for a heads up, if you notice, there's two new events that community service wants to put, I guess it's community service, animal services, the public safety outreach event, and the
Which-
neighborhood watch
What-
event.
Which one,
It's on the special events page,
what
It's-
page is it? I'm sorry.
91.
91. Because I have a question on that one.
Down towards the bottom, right above the youth day parade, you have public safety outreach, and right above that, you have neighborhood watch.
What is a public safety outreach? I don't know what that is, especially if we have National Night Out. It sounds like those are the same thing to
Well,
me.
that's what I thought, but you know that. But who
Because
wants
National Night Out, that's what you're supposed to be doing, is public safety
Who wants to get up here and
Miss-
chat?
Mr. Reyes can come and answer that.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, and distinguished members of the City Council. Nice to see everyone tonight. Sorry, my jacket on. Yeah, those are actually different. National Night Out is just a single event. Public Outreach is actually the Coffee with a Cop events. And then the last one, the Neighborhood Watch, we're trying to do Neighborhood Watch, so we're trying to promote things. So when we start getting Neighborhood Watch, those will probably cost about $100 a month for coffee and refreshments and flyers to get people to go.
Okay, so the public safety outreach is like Coffee with a Cop,
Coffee with a Cop.
those kind of things, not to be confused with National Night
Yeah,
Out.
National Night
Okay,
Out
that-
has its own budget, and the other three.
Okay, that makes
come with
sense.
option.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
And just to point out to the council, I know with the direction I'm hearing, but just, we'll have to identify the funding, try to get, get the revenues from the Parks and Rec, hopefully, and then we'll bring back another event, subject to approval from the council and another agendized for council consideration.
Okay.
So let's see, it'll have to be after September then, huh? Because it takes at least 60 days, 90 days to get things rolling. September is the Blues Festival.
Most likely, though, it'd probably have to go the following year,
Year.
get added on and bring it, and I'll have to meet with Mr. Estes, and we'll have to come up with a plan of, when we could put that next one out and add it to this list of, we have quite a bit of events, but we'll try to fit it in based on the direction.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, thanks for pointing that out. Okay. Yeah, yes, sir, go ahead.
All right. So that's, all the different departments. A couple other things I wanted to come back to as far as capital-related items. In Public Works, they requested several different things. I think we ended up settling on City Hall roof repair.
What page are you on right now?
If you go to 42, there's 3 items under capital towards the top of the page. 42.
He did 42. That's what
Page
I thought I heard.
42.
42. 42. That's what I thought I heard too. But it's 42.
Sorry, I'm a little slow.
So we have 3 items there. It's City Hall roof repair. And then security
City Hall
improvement, Public Works security improvement. And then LA Sheriff facility improvement.
And that,
What's-
Mayor and Council, that includes the block wall with a gate, a paint job, the leak, and closed circuit TV.
But what's the Public Works security improvements?
That's the gate in the back. They want to put a gate in the back to lock off so people can't come in during the day. People come in that back area and they grab stuff, like when for example, for the council certification, when we pick up homeless stuff, we've been storing some of the stuff there, they'll come in the back gate and grab it and take it back. So it's open, the gate, so we want to upgrade the fencing back there and then put an electric gate back there, so when staff can press a button and it opens up. Because most folks coming off of Manhattan Beach, this is the backside of, for the improvements.
And then some shady people come and dump their stuff there.
Yeah, they go in when we store stuff there too, from the homeless, they come and grab their stuff back. So there's no way to watch it and control it, because they come in, that's where we store it in the back there. So it'd be better if we have an electrified gate, opens with a button, a clicker, and then folks will enter off Manhattan Beach, we can manage them better and control them on site.
Okay.
So those are the 3 that we have, and again, these are all infrastructure related, and it qualifies for ARPA funding. So it won't be general fund money, it'll be coming from the ARPA grant funding that we've received. Let me see if there's any.
Very good.
I think that's it as far as like the numbers side of it and the budget itself. I just did want to kind of go over, the citywide cash balances. We do have, I feel, a very decent amount of cash on hand. We have about 18 million in cash in the bank, And then we have another 18.5 in our LAIF account. The LAIF account right now, I believe the daily rate, it's been going up. It's still under 1%. It's only about 0.9%. And then we also have about another 3.5 million in CDs, earning between like 0.8 and 2%. So that's the other thing I'll be looking at to see what we can do with this money, what other investments we can do. Interest rates are going up, so we need to take advantage of that and see. We can do much better than we're at right now.
I have a question. Can we take a look at the wish list and what things that are proposing for add-ons for the year? And things like car replacements, or vehicle replacements?
We did look at vehicle replacement. We held off on the subcommittee recommended holding off on those big expenditures because of the cost of cars right now. So we're opting to do repairs. And I understand from, we cannot use ARPA monies for the cars.
No, we can't.
We cannot. So we
No.
did look at, so we're holding off. We've been asked, the subcommittee recommended being conservative. And the mayor one time mentioned that to me too.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
And also, I would like to take a look at that wish list.
Most definitely. One item they did ask for was the dump truck. I actually went out and tested the dump truck. It worked fine. It'll hold up for another year. So we asked the Public Works to hold off on replacement of that dump truck until finally the CNG tanks cannot be recertified. So they think it can last another 6 to a year. We'll be bringing an item forward for replacement for that dump truck in a year. But the dump truck is about 250 or 280,000, or what? Is that what they were
Yeah, I think
asking
that
for?
estimate like 240.
Yeah. But we can't use ARPA monies for that, so unfortunately. So based on the subcommittee's recommendation, we're being very conservative.
Well, I believe the list was a floodlight, a generator,
Yeah.
the dump truck, a pressure washer, and this fifth one.
So we have a dump truck, a generator, there's a carpet cleaning machine.
Carpet cleaning, that was the
pressure
fifth one.
washer.
And we, with the council's blessing, we okayed the carpet cleaning and the pressure washer right now. The dump truck, like Sean said, we could hold off on. The light fixture and the generator, that we can look at mid-year on that one. Because there's I don't know if we're gonna discuss it right now, the bigger issue, the bigger thing we did, maybe you wanna talk about the wages.
So the direction we received from the subcommittee is updating the council chambers, some of the biggest expenditures, and then looking at the salary survey that's coming forward for council's consideration.
And the subcommittee, well, I don't know if we recommended to the staff that we go ahead and bring the salaries up to date instead of buying a dump truck and stuff. Let's get that out of the way and bring everybody up to par. So we have the money right now, let's do it now instead of later. So there won't be any, maybe we'll get better people at the different positions. Right now, I know we're below. I know quite a few people here that are percentages way below what they should be being salary. So Shirley and I asked to see if we could let's bring it all up to level, we're up to snuff. And it cost about, was it $200,000 to bring it up to snuff? Was it that?
Yeah, right around there. So none of that is built into the budget I have
No.
right now.
Right.
But the estimate was about 250 to 300 increase for the one time. And then going forward, it's about 90,000 a year after that. The first year is to bring everybody up to market, and then after that, it's for annual step increases. But none of that is built into the current budget right here.
So not building in the current budget, but it would be 250, 300.
Yeah.
If we was to put it in the budget.
Yeah,
And then going forth, how much did you say? What was
about
that?
90,000.
90,000, okay,
Yeah.
that's what I was missing.
So the first year includes bringing it up to market and the step increase, and then after that, it will be just the annual step increase.
So, and what was the discussions, maybe we're having it now, on what we need to do if it was our desire to bring it up in this budget? I know you said 250 to 300. Does that mean you would need to visit some of these other numbers and move things around? Or would that just come
It
out
would move
of?
around because it's not going to be all general fund, so it'll be allocated throughout. So I'd have to take a look at, I'd have to run it through my allocations and see what it hits where, but, you know, it'd wipe out a good chunk of that surplus that we've currently got budgeted, but I think we're in a decent position right now to be able to afford that right now.
Yeah, well, I would agree that this was definitely the time to do it, to make sure that our employees, of course, are being compensated fairly. Not only that, it's a competitive market out there for employees, period. I know for a fact, I know a couple of business owners that's having a pretty tough time finding good employees, and sometimes even finding employees that's not so good. It's kind of a rough go out there. So I think if we're in a position to do so, I think this would be the time to do so.
So if we do that, the council won't get their $20,000 raise, I'm sorry.
Next year. Just kidding, no, $20,000 raise.
Is that something too, I mean, we'd have to, I want to say, discuss in closed session, since it deals with some other aspects, or?
Yeah, we have an item on for closed session too tonight, so we can bring all that back. Certainly whatever decisions made, can't talk about closed session, but I mean, a public agenda item, bring back forward, and obviously after, bring something back to augment the budget or get direction at the item at the public hearing. But can't say other than that right now at this point. But
Well,
definitely, we were told to be conservative from the subcommittee, to allocate as much, be conservative, be careful on the expenditures for capital things, and then also think about the chambers upgrades and then the salaries. And that's what we're trying to accomplish with this budget.
With just a clarification, just so I'm clear. What we have to discuss in closed session would be negotiating. But there's nothing to prevent us from discussing if we have a desire to fund, because we know how much, approximately how much it's gonna be if we decide to fund it. That's not a closed session item. We could decide, we can talk about that in open session if we have a desire to fund such. Now, the negotiations and how you get there and all that kind of stuff, that is an item for negotiations, contract negotiations or what have you. But if you decide, hey, we're gonna put X amount of dollars in the budget, and then we're gonna negotiate it, we can do that. But yeah, I agree that, you don't wanna negotiate, of course, in the public, but you can decide if we're gonna put X amount of dollars in the budget for it. I'm not necessarily suggesting that we do that now. I'm just saying that we can do that in open session.
I myself have a lot of questions. I would want to be able to sit down with a list of what positions are under market and see for myself,
Yeah.
how the math worked out.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay, what else you got for us? Mr. Jack.
So I think that's pretty much all I have. I don't know if you guys have any other questions, or that's pretty much the whole budget. As far as the general fund, and you have the book, and capital is in there as well. And most of the general, not the few that we mentioned, were going to be covered with ARPA funding.
Okay, so you have anything you want to wrap up, Mr. City Manager? That seems like that's the
No, I just
conclusion.
want to thank the council and the subcommittee for the support on helping us prepare the budget, Harat's staff, and everyone, and all the department heads and staff. We were a little behind, but I'm glad it's here. I'm happy that we got it in front of the council for consideration. I mean, we want to have it done by July 1st always, and I was getting a little worried, but I was so happy that
It's his
put it
first one.
together, and we're here tonight. That, I'm ecstatic, so, thank you.
Very, very good. Thank you for that staff report on the budget and the presentation. Anything to report from the city manager's report on this item?
No.
On this meeting, okay. Any items from the council member in this meeting?
I just want to say,
Okay.
Rod did a fantastic job within a month, he had the budget done, set up.
Absolutely, we appreciate
Sean was
it.
panicking, but he has gray hair now. He didn't have gray hair when he got there.
Yeah. No, we appreciate
Yeah.
the finance director and his team putting
Yeah.
this together as quickly as they were able to. Thank you, sir. With that, we will adjourn this meeting to our regular scheduled meeting would be today at 6:30 PM in these here chambers. This meeting is here adjourned.